Hey y'all, welcome back to another weekly comic and graphic novel reading vlog. I think I am going kaput. This has been a very stressful week for me, and I think my system is finally saying it's done. And I understand why it's saying it's done. I just have not been feeling great. I actually do not feel too hot filming this right now, but it's okay, and I just have not had the capacity to film or do anything at all this week. It's just been a long week for me and a stressful week, and it is Thursday and I'm feeling like, why the heck is it not already Friday? But I did want to go ahead and start this vlog. 30 and 30 starts tomorrow, so I am going to be vlogging all of 30 and 30, and so with the first 3 days of 30 and 30 already like going to be here, I definitely, because I was like, oh, maybe I'll just skip this week's vlog, but I'm like, no, because I know that people like to see me vlog 30 and 30, so that's what I'm gonna do. And since week 1 technically starts tomorrow, I thought I would go ahead and do it. So talking about things that I have already read, I ended up reading, did I read anything besides those 2 things this week? I may not. I've been reading a lot of like prose based things this week, but I did get to 2 middle grade graphic novels this week. Oh no, I read 3 things. Okay, so the first thing that I ended up reading was I finally finished Mummies in the Morning, which is the 3rd book in the Magic Treehouse. I talked about that in my last vlog, but like I said before, you don't have to read these in order. I am pretty familiar with the stories because I've been reading the actual prose book, so I didn't have a problem with reading them out of order and not having read Night at Dawn, which, you know, I enjoyed it. I am really enjoying these graphic novels. I ended up giving this one 4 stars. What I think I enjoyed a lot about this one is you get to see like Jack be this really attentive and adoring big brother, especially because they're going to ancient Egypt in this one, and they are in a pyramid, and it's a pyramid that has a queen's mummy in it, and of course Annie gets lost, and so Jack kind of helps guide her and stuff like that. And I thought it was good. I'm very surprised at how much I'm actually enjoying the graphic novels of that series, because you know I have my qualms about adaptations and I don't think that everything should be adapted, but I did enjoy that. I ended up reading 2 middle grade graphic novels last night just because I have so many checked out and I'm like, these need to go back to the library. So I read Doodles from Boogie Down, which is one that I had on my TBR for a while. I think I put that in either in my July or August reading plans. It's by Stephanie Rodriguez. It's loosely based on her own experience growing up in the Bronx and wanting to attend an art-based high school. It's a LaGuardia something art school, and it's in Manhattan, and her mom is pretty much like, yeah, no sis, you're not going. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that her mother is coming from she came from the Dominican Republic to the United States and had a really tough time in public school. She was bullied a lot, and so she's kind of fearful of the same thing happening to her daughter, so she wants to protect her from all of that. But in protecting her, she kind of, you know, is not super helpful to her in a lot of different ways. But I love the artwork in this. I know a lot of people aren't a fan of the art, but it reminded me of The Simpsons. The teeth thing is really interesting, but I love the color palette. It takes place in the early 2000s, which created a sense of nostalgia for me. I forgot about all the things that I knew and used to do in the 2000s, and going to New York when I was that age during the summers. My parents were divorced and we moved from New York. My dad stayed there and I would go and visit every summer. And so there were so many things that were happening. We're like, oh my gosh, like, this reminds me so much of my childhood, which made it feel definitely like really cozy. But I think a lot of middle grade readers will relate to this whole idea of just wanting to be able to express yourself, and how do you know, tell your parents that you want to do something that you're passionate about that's outside of their like design plan for you as your child. And so we get to see those dynamics between her mom, and of course we see some typical middle grade like ups and downs, especially like with friendships. And it's definitely a coming of age story. I really enjoyed it. Giving that one 4 out of 4 stars. And then I ended up reading Fox Point's own Gemma Hopper by Bree Spangler. This is more like a 3.5 for me. I did not enjoy parts of this, and it was one part that specifically kind of took me out of it. So this focuses on a young girl by the name of Gemma, who is obsessed with baseball, but she comes from a pretty difficult household. Her mother has pretty much picked up and left. You don't really find out or know why her mother leaves, but it is the catalyst for a lot of things, as it would be in any situation. So she's pretty much responsible for taking care of the household. So that includes like her older brother, who is about to be a part of a traveling team and move to Florida for I think it's like a couple of months that he's moving to Florida. And then she has twin brothers that are younger than her, who significantly younger than her, and she has to make sure that they eat, does the laundry, you know, cleans the house, and all while being 13 and still having to go to school herself. She's 6 feet tall, and so that creates kind of an issue for her in terms of like fitting in with the rest of the girls at school, because she can't dress the way that they dress because clothes don't fit her the same way, and she wants to fit in. And her close friend is becoming best friends with the popular girls, and it's causing some friction between the two of them. But there was a scene that I didn't, without trying to give too much of it away, there was a project that was assigned by a teacher, and the teacher was making the kids do a family tree. I personally believe that family trees, the assignment, like doing that, is pretty archaic. I'm not saying that it can't be beneficial, but you have to understand the circumstances of your kids in your classroom to assign doing a family tree, especially when you think about the experiences of every kid is not the same, whether that be like a Black student having difficulty tracing their lineage, and then thinking about like those kids who may be coming from homes where you're making them have to deal with some traumatic experiences. So for example, having Gemma do a family tree knowing that her mom literally just left their house like a year ago. And at this point, Gemma has not accepted that her mother is not coming back. So she's having to work through those emotions, and she does something where the teacher is not happy about it, and she says something along the lines of, you know, I knew your mom and dad, they were my students, I grew up with your grandparents. And I'm like, so if you know all of these things about her family, the family dynamics, the family situation, why would you make her then do a family tree knowing that it's probably going to make her live through or engage in trauma that she's actively trying to avoid because she has an absent parent who up and left without even saying why she was leaving, has not had contact with her child at all. And so I just felt like taking that and then making Gemma responsible for what happens in that situation, to give her this like monologue at the end about everything that she's learned and coming into her own, I just was like, this is not sitting right with me. It just felt off, to be honest with you. I love the relationship between Gemma and her brother. They're only a year apart, and baseball is ironically the thing that brought them close together and is also tearing them apart by the time that we are reading about this specific time in their life. But I think that even through all their ups and downs, they're extremely supportive of each other, because they're each struggling with the absence of a mother and the expectations that the community and their father has on them, and they haven't been able to see it from each other's lens. And so throughout the course of the graphic novel, they're learning how to cope with their experiences and learning how to see what the other is dealing with. There was also a section of this that I don't think it was harmful, but I thought it was written weird, where like Gemma asked her brother, like, you know, basically is asking him about girls, and he's like, I'm not into girls. And it's kind of like insinuated that Gemma thinks that he could possibly be gay, and he was just like, no, I'm not into guys either. And it was just kind of like, I don't know, I don't think anything was meant by it, but like it just, the way that it was written kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Like he had it was a very subtle, like, no, I'm not into girls. And then when she asked him about guys, he was kind of, I'm not into guys. And it was like, okay, it was almost like he had more of a reaction about him possibly being attracted to other guys than being attracted to girls. And I don't know, it just, to me, it just read a little weird. So that was not my favorite. I'm probably gonna give that 3 stars, because I just, reading it, I read that one first, and then I read Doodles from the Boogie down, And the feelings that I had in reading both of those were just so strikingly different that I think I'm gonna have to give that one 3 stars, because I gave Doodles from the Boogie down 4 stars, and they were very contrasting, not just because of storyline, but feelings while reading them were just completely different. So there's that. All right, so what am I going to be reading? Tomorrow's Friday. Tomorrow's going to be a busy day for me at work, of course, because I'm working on a project that was supposed to be finished today. It's not going to be finished. I was going to work on it tonight, but I can't, y'all. I just can't. I need time for me to decompress, and that's not going to allow me to decompress, and I don't want to be up all night working on that. So I'm just going to have to finish it tomorrow when I'm at work. But let's talk about what I plan on reading first for 30 and 30. This is not the right volume. Is it? No, but I'm going to hold it up just as a placeholder here, because volume 2, I think that's it over on the couch. I'm not getting up. I'm just not getting up. I don't feel like it. I do plan on the first couple of things that I do plan on reading, which I may get a start on tonight because it's just me. Beauty and the Beast of Paradise Lost. I requested that my library purchase this. Even though I work in the department that does the buying, I still have to put in a formal request. Because it's not my content area and it's for my personal use. It's not for library use. Like, this is something I want for myself. I requested that they get Beauty and the Beast of Paradise Lost, and they got all 5 volumes. So I'm excited about that they got all 5 volumes, because I definitely wanted all 5 volumes, but I didn't know they were going to get them or not, and they did. So I'm going to continue with this, volume 2. This is volume 3 I'm holding up, but just pretend it's volume 2. And then I also want to read Oshinokoi Volume 2, which I have been patiently waiting on. If you did not know, I recently read Oshinokoi Volume 1, Chef's Kiss. It was a lot darker and more sad than I anticipated, and gave me all the feels, and the theme song for the anime is so good. I love the theme song for the anime. So I'm definitely going to start these 2 series for 30 and 30. I wonder if I can, because Oshinokoi is not very long, so I'm trying to figure out whether I can literally get through 2 volumes tomorrow. Beauty and the Beast of Paradise Lost is not too text heavy either, but this is volume 3, so I don't know if volume 1 is text heavy. But those are the 2 that I want to start with. I think I'm going to include manhwa in my 30 for 30 experience. So Why Raeliana ended up at the Duke's Mansion, and also Villainess are Destined to Die, or The Villainess is Destined to Die. I have volume 3 of that one, so I think I'm going to read those as well. But that is going to be it for right now. I need to take some medicine because I feel like I have a migraine coming in right here. I'm gonna take some medicine, relax. We'll see what happens. I also need to edit a video for this channel and edit a clip for a friend that is doing a reading vlog. I just need to get my life together. I need more time off. I just took last Friday off, but I need more time. This vlog actually may end up being one of the longer vlogs that I've done, because of the fact 30 and 30 always makes me vlog more, because I'm actively reading more, and it's Labor Day weekend. Does this mean that I'm gonna get a lot more reading done? Absolutely not, because, you know, child things. We shall see. We'll see how it goes. But anyway, I'll check in later. let's just go ahead and get jiggy with it. I don't know why I said get, whatever. Anyway, so let's go ahead and talk about how my reading's been going for the week, because really honestly y'all have been getting a lot of b-roll footage, which is fine because that means I've been primarily reading, and I have been reading. So I did talk about the 2 middle grade graphic novels that I ended up reading, which was the baseball one and then the boogie one. The baseball one and the boogie one. Those are the ones that I ended up reading. And then 30 and 30 began. So remember, originally when I filmed the first clip of this, I was like, I haven't really vlogged all week, but it's the start of 30 and 30, and so I don't want to like not vlog this footage, because this is usually like people like to see what I end up accomplishing for 30 and 30. And so technically we're gonna say that this is 30 and 30 week number 1, because I'll upload one when you see this. It'll be 1, 2, 3, 4 of these reading 30 volumes of manga in 30 days, week number 1. So this will be the first week. It's not really technically the first week because it literally is only the first 72 hours, but we're gonna call it week number 1 because why not? We're just gonna do it, and we will maybe we'll call it part 1. Yeah, we'll call it part 1. This will be part 1, then there'll be part 2, 3, 4, and a part 5, which will be the second week in the 2nd of October. The last one of these will go up because that will cover the 25th through the 30th of September. I may have accidentally like already accomplished almost a third of the third. I'm not sure what happened, to be honest with you. I think I typically read manga more quickly when I think I read manga more quickly on my phone through the Viz app. I don't know what that is. It's the same amount of pages. I wish I had the words, but unfortunately I don't have the words to describe exactly what happens. It's like this weird phenomena. So at the time of me filming this, because I was like, I just need to go ahead and get this last clip in so I can wrap this up, I have read volumes 1 through 7 of Dawn of the Arcana, and I've read volumes 9 and 10 of Something's Wrong with Us. And I'm about to read, so because the night is not over and it's Labor Day tomorrow, so I don't have to go to work, I'm gonna be reading also, but this won't be captured until the second part of this. I'm gonna be reading Something's Wrong with This volume 11, and then I'm gonna try to read also I Want to Be a Wall. I'm also in the middle of Dawn of the Arcana volume number 8, so potentially by tomorrow I could be 12 volumes in. It's not my goal to read 60. At this rate, it's also not my goal to read 90 volumes. But at the rate that I am pushing, I don't know what exactly is going on. So let's just talk about it. Dawn of the Arcana. I am eating it up. I am loving Dawn of the Arcana. So as y'all know, I read The King's Beast in one of these weekly reading vlogs, right? The King's Beast was really, really interesting. And I found out that it took place in the same world as Dawn of the Arcana. And you didn't have to read Dawn of the Arcana with, you know, if you wanted to read The King's Beast. But I was so interested in this whole world about the relationship between humans and Ajin that I was like, okay, well, I want to go back and read it because it's on the Viz app. Why not? Why not go ahead and read it? And boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy. It just started this kind of, I don't know, rabbit hole of reading just chapter by chapter by chapter by chapter. Before I knew it, I'm like, oh my god, I'm on volume number 8. It focuses on a princess by the name of Nakaba, and she is supposed to be marrying this prince by the name of Caesar. So their two kingdoms have had a lot of tension, and this is supposed to ease the tension between the two of them, the marriage between the two of them. Well, royalty is supposed to have black hair according to everyone, and so Princess Nakaba has red hair, which definitely reminds me of Snow White with the red hair. I haven't read it, but that whole concept of red hair being the thing that makes the character stand out, this is definitely one of those things. And so she gets to this kingdom to be married to Caesar. Caesar's the complete a-hole towards her. He's just not a kind human, and I actually did not like him at all when we first meet him in volume number 1. I was like, oh, this poor baby is about to be so miserable. Well, things change very quickly. I think that Caesar underestimated her. I think that she underestimated the possibility of having affections for Caesar. This is such an easy manga series to fly through, like very, very easy to fly through. And I'm not mad at it at all. Not mad at the fact that it's easy to fly through, but it's good. I've given each one of these volumes in between 4 to 5 stars. They're greatly paced. I'm definitely thinking about doing a first impressions on this, so I don't want to dive too much into it, but it's just a good series. It's really, really good. I really, really enjoyed it. So I'm going to continue reading that. And then, like I said, I read Something's Wrong With Us, volumes 9 and 10. Now, I literally cannot tell you anything about these volumes because we're so far into the series at this point. But oh my god, Tsubaki's mother is like the bane. Like, even thinking about her is the bane of my existence, because by volume 10 I would have thrown hands with her, because ain't no way what she did to Nao, or Nao, however you say her name, what she did in that volume, I would have snatched her. I would have snatched her so quick. I would have popped her in her face, because ain't no way. There's no way. Like, she's so bitter and nasty and disgusting. She's just a disgusting human. And I just don't know why we can't do something to get rid of her at this point, because she's doing everything to drive our characters apart. And of course, by the time we get into this is a new story arc, by the way. And so we're seeing a time jump. It's a new story arc with a time jump and a rift between our two main characters, which I can't tell you why because it's a spoiler. But his mother, you want to talk about like I have one in prose that I've wanted to actually, like, if I wanted to physically fight. His mama, like, I want to physically fight her. She's disgusting. She's nasty. But either way, interesting reads. Looking forward to seeing how the series develops. Unfortunately, I only have up to volume 11 on me. So it looks like I'm going to have to put some stuff on hold and put prayers up that it's actually available. But I think I'm going to go through volume 11 this evening. And then I started I Want to Be a Wall a while ago, but never finished it. And I think I just want to finish it tonight. I still need to get through Beauty and the Beast of Paradise Lost, but also I made the decision randomly that I actually wanted to start mixed vegetables on the Viz app. I don't know why. I mean, it's a cooking food manga and I really want to read a couple of volumes of that one too, so I may dive into that. I'm foregoing all of my physical TBR that I showed y'all in that video, but what's new? What's fascinating? So at the end of this part 1, 3 days in, I am 9 volumes in, which definitely puts me all the way through this week. If I was not to read another volume of manga until next Sunday, I would be fine. That's not going to happen, but it just amazes me that already here, going into possibly the 10th, I can hold out now until the 10th if I really, really wanted to just do that, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to at all. It's not gonna happen. But yeah, that's it, y'all. read some great stuff this week. I'm looking forward to tracking and updating y'all up into this next part of the 30 and 30. And yeah, let me know in the comments down below like what y'all have read for 30 and 30 so far. What you're enjoying. As always, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content from me, click the subscribe button. If you're interested in following me on social media, all those links will be down in the description box below as well. And I'll be back with another video soon.